welcome to our class for today. Today is August 26th and again it's English class. How was your weekend and your holidays? Yeah, I hope you had fun. And previously, kids, we started with Unit 5, Up in the Air. So this is a continuation of Unit 5 since all your lessons, all the units is quite long and we cannot really discuss all of them in just one day. So again, let's continue with Unit 5. And again, hello everyone. I'm so happy today because today we are going to have an activity which we always do, so I'm always happy. Okay, so kids, let's get started. Previously, kids, we learned these words, okay, and I also told you that you have to remember them because we are going to have spelling activity today, right? Okay, so earlier we already have your spelling activity, so thank you for your participation, and let's read the words again. Okay, so if you still remember how to read them, it's good, but if you don't remember, don't worry, I got you. We are going to have a short review before we move on to our lesson for today. Okay, so please again read after me. Approximately. Approximately. Can you say it? Approximately. Okay, so it's a little bit different when you read the words slower because it changes how you pronounce the words. Okay, some words, most of the words I prefer to read them a little bit faster, but not too fast, just a little bit faster. That way it would be much easier for you to pronounce the sounds correctly. Okay, so approximately. Approximately. Okay, ideal, ideal, ideal. It seems like if you read this word slowly, you say ideal, right? Ideal, but ideal, ideal. Okay, I'm not really saying the Y sound, right? So ideal, ideal. Okay, resilient, 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 resilient. Motives. Motives. Okay, you have to say the last sound, which is s. Motives. Motives. Evolved. Evolved. Okay, let me remove my glasses. Okay, one more time. Evolved. Evolved. Okay, regarded. 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 Okay, opponents. 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 Forecasting. 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 Forecast. You know, forecast. Predict. We also learned synonyms for these words. Forecasting. 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 Diminished. 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 Recreation. 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 No, not recreation. 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 Okay, one more time. Approximately. Ideal. Resilient. Motives. Evolved. Regarded. Opponents. Forecasting. Diminished. Recreation. Okay, good job. Alright, so let's move on with our topic for today, which is still up in the air, and we are going to discuss pages 57 and 58. Okay, so commas. What are commas, kids? So I think you already know what is this. What does it look like? Okay, commas, right? So if it's it's like this. It's very small. We have this is a punctuation mark. We call this one is a punctuation mark. Period. It's a punctuation mark. Semicolon, colon. We call this punctuation marks. punctuation marks, okay? So commas, we call it a punctuation mark, and the comma is a punctuation mark used within a sentence, okay? Within a sentence, meaning inside a sentence. So let's see what does it mean. So if, let's say, she is dancing, okay? Okay, she is dancing, she is singing too, okay? There are two sentences in this sentence. Technically this is one sentence, okay? However, because of this comma, we can combine two independent sentences together in one sentence. So again, a comma mark used within a sentence. So this is a sentence and the comma is in the sentence, okay? So you should not use comma in the beginning of the sentence nor at the end of the sentence, because it's going to be wrong, okay kids? Remember that? So again, commas are used within a sentence, not in the beginning or at the end of the sentence, okay? Alright, next, a comma tells the reader when or where to pause. So let's say you are reading a sentence, a story, a poem, a news article. Comma tells us, you and me, everyone, when to stop, okay? So there is also a difference, kids, when it comes to your comma and your period. So for period, it means full stop. You have to stop. But for comma, you just have to stop for 1 to 2 seconds. Then you continue reading the next word or the next sentence. Okay, so next, it helps to make the meaning of a sentence clear, okay? So sometimes if you don't use a comma, your sentence is going to be very, very long and it will cause confusion. Yeah, it sometimes causes confusion when it comes to reading long sentences or long paragraphs without comma, because you are reading very fast and you're not stopping. The ideas shuffles and you will not understand what you're reading. And so for this one, a comma tells the reader when or where to pause. Okay, so like I told you, when it comes to your period, punctuation mark, it means full stop. You have to stop. But for comma, you just have to pause. When we say pause, you just have to stop, but again, you have to continue, okay? So for a comma tells the reader when or where to pause. For example, I like apples, comma, bananas, oranges, pineapples, and mangoes. So if we are going to remove the comma, then you will read it this way. You might read it this way. I like apples, bananas, oranges, pineapples, and mangoes. I like apples, bananas, oranges, pineapples, and mangoes. So the use of comma is to put it is for us to know where to pause. So if we are going to use comma in this sentence, listen how I read it, okay? I like apples, bananas, oranges, pineapples, and mangoes. It sounds better and it sounds clearer, right? So again, comma is very important when it comes to reading as well, not just in writing, okay? So again, I will read it. I like apples, bananas, oranges, pineapples, and mangoes. So you should know, it's just a pause, okay? Just pause for a little time, not full stop, because if you stop, I like apples. bananas, oranges, pineapples. It's quite, you should not stop for a long time. Just pause for a little, like 1 to 2 seconds. For example, I like apples, bananas, oranges, pineapples, and mangoes. Okay, another is it helps to make the meaning of a sentence clear. So Jessa can dance, she can sing too. So it makes the meaning of the sentence clear. So in here, Jessa can dance. Okay, Jessa can dance. And another independent sentence, she can sing too. So who can sing? Jessa, right? So this comma makes these two sentences clear with the use of the comma too. Okay, because Jessa can dance, she can sing too. Alright, so there you go, kids. That's the main use of your commas. It's very useful. It's not just for reading, but also when you write sentences. So hope that you understand what are the use of comma. What is the use of commas? Okay, so I'll give you something to do on page 57, but we have to read. Okay, let me just check how many. Okay, so it's gonna be a very long. Okay, so for on page 57, kids, I will be reading the article of 9-year-old balloonist bids for record. Balloonist bids for record. So in here, I want you to focus listening, and while listening, kids, I want you to look at your books. Okay, look at your books. But I think it's better if we do this on the second part of our video, because this video is too long. All right, so kids, for your task 1, you have to I want you to use comma and give me just 3 sentences. So task 1. Okay, I will give you clear instruction now. So for your task 1, I want you to write 3 sentences using comma. So for 3 sentences, I have to see a comma. Okay, so write 3 sentences. Okay, write 3 sentences, and I have to see a comma in all 3 sentences. Okay, so you have to make sure that you're using the comma punctuation mark correctly. All right, so I'll see you later, kids. I'll give you time to do that. Thank you for listening. I'll see you later. Okay, welcome back, kids. It's time for reading activity. So for video 2, I'm supposed to give you just task 2, but I want to maximize using your book, because there are many articles that we can use to practice reading and your pronunciation. So I will be reading text 5B on page 57. I want you to focus listening and look at your book. Okay, so while listening to me, I want you to follow through using your book. So we are going to read the article about a 9-year-old balloonist bids for record. Again, I'll read it. 9-year-old balloonist bids for record. Okay, listen. And also focus on the times where I pause, because we are going to read it with like using the techniques and tips when it comes to reading if there's a comma. Okay, so let's get started. A 9-year-old boy from Albuquerque New Mexico, is preparing to make history by becoming the youngest trained pilot to fly solo in a hot air balloon. Bobby Bradley has been training for this moment since he was just 4 years old. He has more experience than some professional pilots and admits that he's excited but not nervous about the prospect. He will take off in about 7 weeks' time. Bobby's parents are Troy and Tammy Bradley, who are well known in ballooning community as two of the best in the world. They have won some of the biggest races ever staged, and Troy co-piloted the first ever balloon to journey from North America to Africa, making his first solo flight when he was 14. Judging by interviews, young Bobby Bradley seems totally comfortable piloting the balloon and should have no problems. He says, "I've always wanted to fly solo, and I've had plenty of time to train." Okay, that's so nice. So he is just a 9-year-old boy, and he is already making his own way on top when it's for becoming a balloonist. So what is a hot air balloon, kids? Hot air balloon looks, okay, look at your books, it's there, right? So we call this hot air balloon. All right, so there you go. I want you to try reading this article as well, and you can always go back to this video and listen to me while reading. And for task 2, kids, let's answer A, B, and C. Okay, so we have here A, B, and C. I will give you more instructions for that, so that this will be your task 2. So for letter C, by the way, you have to read key point. So we have here a paragraph about your commas. So it is one way for you, another description and explanation for your commas. Okay, so again, let's read this first on your own, and then I'll give you instructions for task 2. So this will be your task 2 on page 57. Okay, so there you go. I'll see you again, kids. Okay, so there you go. Where did I write? Okay, there you go. So for task 2, kids, let's prepare for that. For now, you have to read the article. Okay. Okay, kids, welcome back. It's time for homework. Before I give you your homework, page 29, let's have a short review. So today we reviewed some words that we previously learned during our class, and today I taught you the use of your commas. Commas are punctuation. Commas is a punctuation mark used when it comes to reading and writing. So there are different uses for your commas, which we learned today. So I hope you remember them. And for your homework, we have to do page 30. So your homework before was Unit 5 Up in the Air number 1 activity. Now we have to do page 30 number 2, okay? Number 2. Alright, this will be your homework. Don't worry, I will give you more instructions, and I will help you out doing this. You have to prepare, because you also have to remember some words and some lessons that we had before in order to answer this. So it's actually almost the same with number 1, your previous homework. So it's going to be easier now, okay? Alright, so we just have to do number 2. Okay, so kids, thank you again. I'll see you next week, and please do your homework, and thank you for your participation today. I'll see you again. Goodbye, be safe.